Okay, so our representative from Millenium over here at the 2 o'clock position on Shattered Temple is Millenium.Feast, our Belgian Orange Protoss player here. His opponent, who has taken one game from Millenium already, is dignitas.Bischu. He is our yellow Protoss, and this has happened like 4 times in Team Arena Challenge already, that our PvP has been between a yellow and an orange player. It just makes Zealot battles impossible to tell apart. Thank you, guys.
Well, we could
I appreciate
change the colors.
I guess we could, yeah. Where's the... Here it is. It's
That would be
Alt-F.
that makes things much easier. And then we can change the colors on the smartboard.
We will do that, as a matter of fact. So we'll switch things over for you guys.
Yeah, just hold on one quick second while we get the
go ahead and do that.
color set.
Make it a little bit easier for everyone to see back at home, because you do not want to look at an entire game with yellow and orange. So Bischu, to introduce him again, is going to be our red Protoss. Feast is going to be our blue Protoss.
Well, it's not too bad when it's not a mirror matchup. When it's a mirror matchup, that's when you really want to have distinctive colors.
The worst is like early game tug of war ZVZs. You know,
with
when
like
they're both
and
like purple and blue.
Or pink and red.
Yes.
Oh, so bad.
Zerglings are impossible to tell apart. You kind of just yell, and then when one person wins, you're like, okay, good job, cats.
Back in Broodwar, they also had this option to switch the colors automatically, and they would only do that for mirror matchups when they spawn with colors. Because you couldn't, I don't think you could select your colors back then. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It's been so long.
Yeah. Well, like, I know you... Okay.
I'm pretty sure you could... Jeez. Let's forget it. Let's talk about StarCraft 2 here.
Yes, as we do have a PvP, but it's a good way to avoid the first couple of minutes of a PvP, as both players have actually mirrored each other right now. Feast actually throwing out that quick second pylon. It's what we saw him do in the first round as well against Mouse. So he does like that quicker second pylon over his opponent, but it looks like Bischu decided to throw his down right after that as well. So everything pretty consistent between our two players here.
You know, if Feast decides to go for that 4-gate, he's got another thing coming for him, because Bischu has a very well-thought-out build to dealing with 4-gate. Now, this isn't Totem Altar, where we saw Bischu execute that build. This is Shattered Temple, and it's a little bit harder to get that 4-gate in because of the ramp. But I still want to give a little bit of notice to you guys that Bischu has a very good build design to counter 4-gate.
You know, his Zealot Immortal build works out pretty well here as well, because of the fact that 6-range Immortals can sit here at the top of the edge of this ramp and actually just devastate all the way up to about here of units that are swinging their way in. Add on top of that you have more limited range up the ramp now, or vision up the ramp, so you actually have to work your way up there a little bit better, and that actually plays out pretty well.
Yeah, that's assuming, though, if Feast goes for that 4-gate.
And it looks like Bischu is actually going Zealot, then Stalker. His opponent actually waited to just go ahead and put out Stalker first.
All right, so things looking pretty standard here. Nothing too out of the ordinary quite yet. Keep your eyes out for the building after that comes down in the next couple of seconds. Will it be more gateways, or is it going to be a robotics facility or something of the sort? Actually, Feast throwing the gateway up at the... Whoa, that's interesting. He's semi-quasi-walling in his front. This leaves his buildings a little bit vulnerable.
He's also putting up a sentry now as well, so he wants to go ahead and remain as protected as possible. Going to force field that ramp. However, we do have early Twilight Council coming out of Bischu. Now, he's produced quite a few Stalkers, so I imagine that this is just going to be used for Blink, but of course, a few months ago we would have said, oh, it's double gas and Twilight Council before second gate. It's going to be DTs, but... Feast going with the more traditional Blink Stalker timing, as he does have Twilight Council coming down after Gateways 2 and 3.
So both players look like they're probably going to use different roads but approach the same end here, which is just Blink Stalker.
Yep.
Right. There's the Blink research going down, and it looks like Bischu is beginning to prepare for that offensive pylon, as he's got one warping in at the gold underneath the Feast's natural.
And Bischu has a couple of sentries to himself as well, so both these players are taking defensive precautions. And let's actually take a look here. No robo up for Bischu, but there is one coming down for Feast. So he'll eventually move into like that observer for vision of the ramp.
Exactly. He's going to have observers to check out the ground, the area, so he can blink up the ramps, down the ramps, into the main, out of the main, things like that.
His Blink Stalkers are so good on this map. I mean, just look at how much surface area you have along the side here and how many opportunities you can actually blink in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm actually surprised Bischu hasn't decided to throw down a robotics facility of his own. He's not going to have observers. He did invest 100 more gas into a sentry, so that could be one reason why. And he's pushing into the middle now with his forces. Now he is going to have Blink just moments before Feast will, it looks like. And neutral supply depot is going to get taken out. The pylon down south has warped in reinforcements, and Feast could find himself getting trapped on two different sides here. This is a bit of a risky spot. He doesn't have Blink yet, whereas Bischu is going to get Blink first. He's going to lose most of his forces.
Oh, wow. This is actually terrible for Feast, because soon after this, Bischu is just going to be able to blink into his opponent's base. He has Blink done now.
He doesn't have sight.
And forcing Feast away. Oh, this could be so bad for Feast. He's going to have sight here in just a second, because there's no more sentries up for... There's no more no sentries up for Feast, so here we go.
Yeah, Bischu is in a very powerful position right now. It looks like he's going to go ahead and run up that ramp with the Zealot first. Using Guardian Shield, there's no sentries here. He can't block the ramp. Not like it mattered anyway, because the Stalkers can blink forward. And now, it looks like Bischu is just going to outright take this game.
He is! There's the GG, a very quick game number 2. And Bischu has taken 2 games against Millenium thus far.
Yeah, that was pretty one-sided. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
是上将。